Sure. Thank you for having me on the call. My name is Petru Pusta. I'm a real-time real estate investor. I've been doing this since probably 2008, starting back in Michigan. I now reside in Florida, and my biggest market is Florida. I still dabble throughout the East Coast, touching back to Michigan, and then obviously in Florida. My strategies are basically volume driven and opportunity focused. I buy across different asset platforms, markets like I discussed earlier, and I'm also always looking for properties where complexity creates value. I believe my approach has allowed me to scale efficiently while building both short-term profits and long-term cash flow. Great question. So I actually stumbled across Hubzu by accident in 2014. And pretty quickly I realized it was one of the largest and most consistent inventory available for auction sites. I compared these to other auction platforms, and Hubzu's always stood out for me because I buy regularly and I buy at scale. And obviously, like I mentioned, the inventory is superior to all the others. Over the years, become my go-to platform without a doubt. The consistency and the volume always allowed me to build my systems around acquisitions, which was critical for me doing this professionally. And, with the exception of COVID, where there was moratoriums for the bank-owned properties, the inventory has been far above everybody else. But COVID, pretty much all the other auction platforms experienced the same shortage. Well, the experience process works pretty well for me. I prefer live bidding, but I've also used auto bidding when needed if I'm going to be busy in a meeting or out of the office. What I appreciate most is it's fair, it's transparent. I also appreciate the fact that Hubzu implemented safeguards which protect the integrity of the auction process, giving most serious buyers confidence that they're competing on a level playing field. I think bid deposits are definitely a good thing and a positive change. Ensures bidders have real intent with some skin in the game. From my perspective, a buyer standpoint, it improves the overall quality of the auction and leads to a better flow through after the sale. Well, I buy a mix of rental properties, which is my go-to, and then I have fix and flips. I love multifamily properties, for passive income. Single families are great. Sometimes condos, depending on the HOA fees for flips. Actually gravitate toward what I call the headache properties, ones with liens, violations, occupied in sight unseen purchases, extensive rehab, or any other added complexity. There's usually less competition on those types of assets. And if you know how to navigate the city with some of these issues, the upside can be significant. The bigger the issues, the more value I can add. Well, like I mentioned earlier, my biggest focus is Florida, Michigan, and then everywhere on the East Coast in between. Hubzu nationwide reach makes it easy to diversify while still concentrating on markets where I have strong teams and local knowledge or boots on the ground. I guess the biggest challenge can probably be timing, especially when properties have liens or violations. Negotiations take a little bit longer in these cases. That said, I understand Hubzu's role in balancing both the seller and buyer interests. If everything were simple, margins would be thinner as well. So, from my perspective, these challenges often create opportunities. And lastly, unlike other auction platforms that heavily favor the seller, Hubzu has the most balanced pro-seller, pro-buyer approach that I've seen. For sure, the volume of opportunities, the transparency of the whole process, and the ability to find the deals others might overlook. Hubzu has been very consistent, scalable source of acquisitions for me, which is invaluable when you're running a business, not a hobby. I would say not to do it in Florida. Everywhere else is okay. I'm just kidding. All jokes aside, if you're serious about investing, Hubzu is the absolute best platform to be out there. The inventory is strong, the process is transparent, and the opportunities are real. If you're willing to do your due diligence, put in a little bit of work, there's tons of upside for you.